in honor of Super Wildcard Weekend. A lot of NFL news today. So let's start actually with something that'll probably end up, actually 100% will end up becoming a story right after the playoffs. Tom Brady to the Raiders is appearing to heat up according to sources across the league. Look, I'm not sure about the fit. I think it's okay. Familiar system, decent weapons, little Devontae Adams. I don't know. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Brady to the Raiders?
He's got weapons if he goes there. Or at least one really solid number one receiver, and then you can kind of build around that.
Well, Hunter Renfro's a really good slot.
Yeah, so you have options. It's not like you're devoid of talent. And, I mean, Brady in a Vegas just sounds like it makes sense, too. He's like...
It's a pretty big brand.
Yeah, a huge brand. Tom has... obviously a huge brand away from football. The TB12 brand is taking off like in all facets of like exercise, nutrition. Yep. So you're going to want to be around.
It's got the clothing brand, the Tom Brady brand.
Yeah, right. So in Vegas, I think he'll do well, like just with personal stuff. On the field, it confuses me a bit because they are unstable, right? This is a franchise that has just recently moved in the last 10 years, 5 years.
Has not been stable. Bunch of coaches.
There's like a couple of green flags, but also things that make me draw back a little bit when it comes to like the actual organization itself when it goes higher up and higher up. Because we saw like with an unproven coach in Tampa, it hasn't looked good.
So if I'm Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, I am doing everything I can to bring Tom Brady to Las Vegas.
Oh, for Vegas, it makes sense. They need Brady.
Well, not just from a football standpoint, but Mark Davis is like the poorest owner now by human standards. He is not poor at all.
Oh, no. Yeah,
but out of all 32, he is the poorest NFL owner. Do you know how much money Tom Brady would make you? Like instantly. It's like the LeBron effect. Like LeBron's gonna increase the franchise value by $1.5 billion as soon as he signs with your team.
Yeah.
Brady is pretty close to that.
I mean, he's right on par.
If anybody's rooting for Brady to pick the Raiders, it's got to be Mark Davis.
Yes. What that would do to that franchise would be huge. I think it would be
irrelevant.
Monumental.
Makes you irrelevant. Nobody cares. I don't care about them without him. And I like Derek Carr, and I still don't care about the team because they're not good.
Does it not make you think a little bit though that it's not the most stable system, and they've had all the stuff with John Gruden last year, and then getting into the interim, and then a new coach this year. So, like, look.
No, I'm not saying it's not, but
it would be the bumpier of the transitions.
Yeah,
I'd say, we'll get to it later, but there are a couple options for Brady.
But Josh McDaniels, that's the thing. Yeah. That's why it'd be slightly stable. But either way, next story here. So the Bears locked up the number 1 overall pick. I guess it's kind of a bonus hit because about 2 months ago, we said probably even more than that. No. I mean, how many months was before that? Like 5 months ago, before the season even started, that they were one of the worst teams in football, and it was pretty obvious. But anyway, this now means that the Texans have the number 2 pick. I don't know who lands in Houston, whether it's Bryce Young or whether they ended up going defense. I feel bad for them. But do you think, a lot of people were talking, should they have tanked that last game, that last quarter? Like, they had a 4th and 20, a 4th and 12 that they converted. They finally get a touchdown in the last minute or so, then they go for 2 for the lead. Like, a lot of people are arguing, well, they did the wrong thing by not tanking. What do you think about it?
Like, I don't know. I mean, you play every game as hard as you can, but like you have to have that in the back of your mind that you want that first overall pick. I think it's going to be okay this year though, because the draft is very, very talented, and you like at a number 2 pick, you're still going to get somebody great. So even if you get the second quarterback, I don't mind that.
Yeah. So here's
so what are you going to take, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, basically?
Right. So a lot of people were like, well, they'll still like Chicago's not going to take a quarterback ahead of them, so. Like, they're fine. They're still going to get the number 1 quarterback. They'll get Bryce Young if they want him, who they're probably going to take at 1 anyway, right? Maybe. But there's so many holes in that Chicago roster. The value of number 1 and the chance of them trading down to get more picks, they could trade. This is a loaded class right now.
Yeah,
there's 3 or 4 guys that could go number 1 that would go number 1 in a lot of other years as well.
That's why I don't mind the Texans picking it too.
Well, yeah, but my point is, if they did want Bryce Young, there's a good chance that somebody could trade up, give away a lot of draft capital to go get him. Maybe say Seattle from Denver's 3, because you don't have to give up as much to move from 3 to 1.
Yeah.
They have all the picks. They have a lot of draft capital from that trade with Russ. Could they trade up to go get a Bryce Young?
They could.
Because Chicago could then get 2 firsts out of it instead of just 1 first, and you only move back 2 slots.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
it's almost mutually beneficial.
Right, but again, I'm kind of with you, though, with the whole, like, they play hard every game. I don't think they should have tanked. Plus, Lovie Smith had to know he was going to be fired. I'm sorry, if you didn't, you're just not paying attention.
Yeah, so who cares at that point if you're him?
At that point, you're going for the win.
Yeah.
And if anything, that would make me want to go for the win more. Like, screw that organization. I don't care. Like, 'cause he had to have known.
Yeah. I mean,
and if he didn't, you had to at least have an idea.
I mean,
you had to at least have an idea.
GMs are sitting there with their eyes shut at this point in the season. They're looking at, they're projecting. Okay, who are we taking? So, they're already doing. They have mock drafts made.
Yeah, and those players, like that left guard, probably does not care about next year. Right now, during that game, he wants to beat a division rival. That's about it.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should have tanked, but it is an interesting scenario in terms of draft picks. All right, I think Denver has the 3 or the 4, something like that. Or like would have the 3 or 4, so it's Seattle that's going to be up there.
Yeah.
All right, third story here. So Tua, not even cleared for practice ahead of their playoff matchup with Buffalo. I think it was a week 16 concussion.
That's not really good.
Against the Packers. 2 questions. 1, do they stand a chance with no Tua? And 2, do they re-sign Tua? Start with the first one. They
haven't played good without him, really. I mean, they've been decent.
And against playoff teams, they haven't played good with him.
No, so, like, I think either way, the Dolphins are going to be a quick exit.
Yeah.
We've said it. It's not their year. I like the direction they're moving. They're going to need some extra time. And there was a great point brought up a couple days ago now with Lamar to possibly go to Miami. I think that could be good. I think years down the road, we'll be looking at them competing more. I don't know if it really matters at this point.
So I don't think now. So you don't think should they re-sign Tua? Now, second question. So I agree with you on the first, by the way.
Maybe one more year. Take it another year. Take it another year. See what you can do. And if he still has the same injury problems, if he still has this, like, he's been relatively lackluster. Like, it's not like he's come out and lit the world on fire and showed everybody in Miami that he deserves a big contract or that he deserves to be one of the top paid.
That's fair.
So, I wouldn't personally.
So, first of all, you don't move off somebody till you know who's going to replace him. That's one thing. So, with a really, really nice free agent market out there and a nice, like, possible trade market.
And you have a very attractive place to come to.
Exactly. If you can upgrade while Tyreek Hill's in his prime, while Jalen Waddle's still cheap labor and hasn't been paid yet, while you have Teron Armstead, who is an aging left tackle, go get, if you can upgrade to an Aaron Rodgers, to, do I dare say Derek Carr's an upgrade? I think he is.
He is.
I think he
100%.
is. If you can go get a Tom Brady, if you can go, entice Lamar or maybe get a trade with the Ravens for a Lamar, I think you have to do it. Now, that's not saying you have to move off Tua 100%, because if it's move off Tua to go draft a college guy late in the first round,
I don't like that.
Absolutely not. I don't think it's a good idea. If you can upgrade to a ready to win, really nice veteran quarterback,
proven,
then you do it.
Yes.
All right. So final story here. Mike Tomlin with an interesting little soundbite here, saying that Kenny Pickett isn't, quote, a franchise quarterback quite yet. He said that he doesn't want to saddle the young quarterback with the term franchise quarterback. My question will be, well, what the hell is he? What'd you spend a first-round draft pick on for, right? The name of the game is to draft a guy, support him in any way you can, and see if he can deliver, right? Not tell him that he's not a franchise quarterback. Like, that does not seem like something I would do. Like, what the hell is he then?
This is like...
Is he not?
Yeah. I mean, he has to be. That's what you drafted him to be.
So he's not a franchise quarterback, then he's a bridge quarterback. And who the hell are you bridging to? Back to Mitch? Like, what are we doing here? We bridging to Duck Hodges? Duck, come on back. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know.
He's your franchise. Kenny Two Gloves, the franchise, baby.
Yeah. You would expect the person that you drafted, in the first round, the only quarterback taken in the first round. And
I just don't get it.
You go out and grab him when you had other positions of need, but hey, maybe that's just us. I don't know. This feels like a weird situation. This feels like...
That's weird, but I mean, to be fair, he might just be not trying to put pressure on Kenny. But
I don't.
Like I said, support the guy any way you can, right? Tua with Brian Flores was toxic. You see 1 year with Mike McDaniel, he's already a better quarterback. Kirk Cousins from Mike Zimmer to Kevin O'Connell.
Why are you still banging on him? Like I get that statement. I get that statement if you haven't seen him play yet. Like, you draft him, somebody asks that question. We don't know if he's our franchise guy yet.
We draft him, we like some of his things.
We're hopeful that he'll be our franchise 100%. Guy. But after you play a season with him, why are you still ripping him? You're his coach.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. Like a lot of your predictions for Super Wild